What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video from Mr. Gray's Talk Room. I'm your host, Christian Gray. Today we're going to be talking about why hoes and 304s and sleuths aren't worth courtship. Now, I came across a couple of videos the other day on TikTok, Instagram, and I know this has been around for a while, but it's something that I do want to talk about because everything changes when you go from an intimate setting to a group setting. So, for instance, if you go out with the boys and y'all want to pay for the dinner, one person pays for the dinner, that's perfectly fine, right? It's the boys. Boys will always be there instead of the hoes, instead of your girls. Even if you're married. At one point, let's say she decides to divorce you, who are you going to come back to? The boys. And I'm not sitting here and telling you in this particular video that you can't be chivalrous and you can't show courtship. But if you are in a group setting, and that group setting means you as a man are the only man at the table, unless she's sucking and fucking you, you are not obligated to pay for the entire dinner. And I know it's been months since I've seen it, but I've been wanting to talk about it a while because I also want to talk about how you take from that group setting, and it's going to change when you go into an intimate setting when you're dating or if you're with somebody engaged, relationship, whatever. And I find this interesting as well because there's another video I came across where there's a difference between being a gentleman and being a simp. And I want to show one particular video with that as well. So we're going to cover a lot today regarding that. But first and foremost, let me go ahead and get into that first video.
A lot of people think it's weird that you do, and we've been dating for almost a year now and I still haven't hit.
Okay, why do we care about other people's opinions?
I mean, I was just presenting the question, maybe.
You know how I feel about it? Like, I am a high value woman, and I can't just be giving my body. I don't know, purity. I told you, purity is a big deal for me. So if I'm not forcing you to stay, you can leave whenever you want if you can't respect those boundaries.
So thank you for being patient. I couldn't find that video. I couldn't download that particular video to make it all nice, but that's regardless of the point. So I want to comment on that particular woman or that particular relationship. So I did a little bit of digging. I don't know who these people are. I just came across that video and I'm thinking to myself, that is a fundamentally fucked up relationship. More so not for the woman, but for the guy. I guess the guy's named Ha Owen. He's some YouTube influencer, has 6 point some million followers. What I'm trying to tell you as a man is that's not a relationship in any way, shape, or form. The dude is simping hard. He said, we've been together for a year and people wonder why I haven't hit yet. And then her response is, why do we care about other people's opinions? So one thing is if this guy Ha Owen is telling his group of friends, I'm not talking about the boys, I'm talking about the girls, because the girls talk. If the boys are wondering why you haven't hit, it's probably because they're telling them, bro, you got to let her go. That's not a relationship, Bubba. I don't care how pretty she is. I don't care how beautiful her eyes are. She does OnlyFans. The fact that she says purity, that is the most hypocritical shit that I've ever heard in my life. You can't do OnlyFans and value purity. Because if I was the boyfriend, I'm hitting. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. She also says, well, you can leave this relationship whenever you want. I'm not forcing you to stay, which is true. I mean, you're simping and you're simping hard, dude. Ha Owen, I'm letting you know, I don't get it what you see in that girl. Pussy can't be that great, especially if it's on OnlyFans. Now, I will say this, though. When it comes to him reluctantly stating, well, I'm just pointing out the question. It's not a question. It's a fundamental issue. You've been with this girl for a year and you have not had sex with her. She's not a pure woman in any way, shape, or form. She's putting herself in OnlyFans. The minute that I saw that video, I already knew, hoe. Fucking hoe. You don't have to tell me twice. And the fact that she stated you can leave at any time you want. I'm not forcing you into this relationship. You should have said, you know what, you're right. I hang on too hard. Probably would have hurt her, but she'd probably find another simp. What I'm telling you guys is, it doesn't matter how beautiful she is. What I'm seeing between these two is she has no respect for him. You know, I don't know who this guy is. I've never seen him before. In any way, shape, or form. I don't know who the girl is. But in looking at that relationship that is simping, there's a difference between being too nice, being a dickhead, and being an asshole. You got to be an asshole. And I'll say Matthew Hussey said something to a woman in a conference that he did. He says, you want a nice guy with an edge. You have to be. You're too nice, they're going to run all over you, and they won't give you shit. I've always said this. There are certain things that I say when I'm dating a woman, and I'll give you one of these little phrases that I say. Whenever we're at a bar and we're just talking, getting to know each other, I say something like, I can only be with a woman that desires to have sex with me. If she doesn't want to do that, that's perfectly fine. I got to let you go. And with that being said, I also find it that it gives them the notion that, oh, this guy wants to sleep with me. I'm not telling her I want to fuck you. I'm implanting a thought in her mind, like, what is it about this guy that would desire me to have sex with him? So that's just my opening statement. Going on from there, there's another thing that I want to talk about. Moving from here is, as a guy, should you be obligated to pay for a dinner for an entire woman? And now that I want to let you know, because towards the end, I want to talk to you more about the dating aspect. But this one really got to me because it's one of those things when you're at a dinner and it's a birthday party or it's a celebration, wedding, whatever. You have to look at the facts. If a woman's not sucking you or fucking you or cleaning up for you, you have no obligation to pay for shit in any way, shape, or form. And you should put your foot down and pointedly state, sweetheart, you're not sucking me or fucking me. Regardless of the circumstances, I'm like, you want to give me a blowjob or a hand job in the bathroom right now? Shit, I'll pay for it. But you're not going to get a meal for free. Unless you're with the boys and you're with the girls and you make enough money to be able to swipe your card and just say that, that's fine if you're at that level. But if it's a simple birthday dinner, you also have to look into the friends at the table. Because this one really got me. And I've been in situations where there was a time with one of my ex-girlfriends, we went to some Dallas sushi bar. It was on a Sunday. And never been there before. I'm meeting two of her cousins and their boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever. And towards the end, what I did was I went to the restroom and it was already time to close, right? It was already time for that restaurant to call it quits. I went to the bathroom, I came back, told the bartender everything that was on my tab, I'm going to pay it here. My ex-girlfriend comes out, she says, what are you doing? You paying the tab for everybody? I said, fuck no. I'm like, I'm not obligated to pay for anybody, and besides, everybody's got dates, so the man should pay for them. And so what I did was I paid my tab, I came in, everybody came out their tabs. Someone, I can't remember who asked me, it wasn't my ex-girlfriend. Someone asked me, they're like, where's your tab? And I'm like, I already paid it. Like, I'm good to go. And that was it. There was no fuss about it. None of this splitting, none of this. What I got, what I got. My girlfriend got what she got. And that was it. So how that pertains to this next segment is going to show you exactly what I did. Because I saw it. I've seen it before. And it's something that I did subconsciously that I didn't even think about. But seeing this again, I want to talk to you more about it. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Thank you guys so much.
Oh, no.
I don't want to do
Can you separate it? I got the birthday girl and my wife.
Separate cake. Dave, I'm sorry, you're the only man at this table. Why are we doing separate cakes? It's all women here. We got a
No,
check.
but I'm not responsible for paying everybody. I got the birthday girl.
But you invited everybody. You invited all of us.
I didn't invite you. Ernestine invited you. Okay, I'm responsible for who I brought.
Okay, you're the only man at the table. I'm sorry, hold on. We was all doing Russian roulette, paying for credit cards and all that. Now all of a sudden you want to split checks? We doing split checks
That
now?
was 2021.
Y'all
okay?
wait.
Things were different.
Not 21.
But I didn't sign up for that. Okay, there's nobody else doing
But you participate. I know we ain't got shit. I know.
Wait a minute, y'all. Hold on. This is my birthday, for real. Don't.
Okay, well,
we're
I
not-
got mad at me because I didn't have anything.
No.
I didn't get nothing.
Whether, but you
It's
still
Donnie's
came.
birthday.
Wait a minute. We're not
I
doing
gotta
this.
pay for nothing that I didn't get.
But you
No,
came
but you
though.
sat at
so
the
you still-
table.
What? You don't pay for a seat.
Okay, well, yes, no.
Listen,
There's
I don't
gratuity
care. I don't
and
care.
everything on this
I
set.
don't care how y'all
Wait,
do
I
it.
didn't order
I didn't
gratuity.
have anything. I just showed up.
Well, I'm sorry,
I didn't
Dave,
order
but you
gratuity.
always pay. Like you're the only man at the table. You're not
No,
gonna pay the check.
if it's- But I'm not obligated. I got my whole family.
It's $700 for this whole table, and it's my birthday.
This is your podcast co-host. This
It's
is your
only
best friend.
$700.
It's only Shan.
You being cheap.
Are you kidding me right
You're
now?
honestly being cheap right now.
Okay,
No,
first,
if that was the case, I'd have just took you out
are
to
you
lunch for your
being
birthday.
Dre? Are you gonna let him sit here with a whole table full of women?
I really feel like it's not his responsibility, and when y'all get a husband,
I'm married.
I'm sorry. I have a.
I absolutely love how that married woman, I guess her name is Dre, addressed the situation. So to give a little bit of context, I don't know who these people are. Most of the people that I react to, I don't know who they are. I'm just being a third party advisor, what have you. So apparently before he got married, they used to do Russian roulette, put something in a hat and figure out who got the credit cards and whatever. Yeah, when you're single, you can do that. When you have a family, when you have a wife, when you have a child, that's all out the window, if you choose it to be. So I don't know who that Viaja is, the one in the red, but she said, you're the only man at the table. You're not going to pay for the dinner? And he says, no, I got my whole family. I invited the birthday girl. This is her birthday dinner. I'll pay her portion. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm giving that as a gift. And I don't even know if he gave her a gift outside this birthday dinner. That's fine. All right, cool. And then when she says, but you're the only man at the table, you invited us. He said, no, I didn't invite you. So-and-so invited you. I'm responsible for who I brought. So I'll say this. Women, ghetto women, no less, bougie women, are masters of emotional manipulation. I find it interesting because the woman in red is trying to get in his head, manipulate him, and call him out for, and I don't know who this guy is. I'm sure he has money. I'm sure it's not even about the money in of itself. It's about principle. He's stating, I'm responsible for who I brought. She's trying to get inside his head, but you're the only man at the table. I guarantee you, those women on that left side of the table are the type of women to say, I get my own bag, I'm an independent woman, I pay my own bills, I got this, I got that. So they're saying they're independent, which I find that phrase so funny. Well, sweetheart, they're your bills, you're supposed to pay for them. But when it comes to equality, they don't want no part of that. You won't see me at a table like that trying to pay for everybody unless I choose to, unless I do it out of the kindness of the deepest, darkest part of my soul. And I love how that wife responded. When y'all get a husband, then y'all can negotiate that. But this is my husband. This is our birthday dinner for her. She probably invited you out. The birthday girl probably invited you out. And it's those fundamental principles where you as a man have to be able to put your foot down and don't let women try to get inside your head and say you're not man enough because you didn't pay for the whole tab. I guarantee you they probably have sneaky links and they've been dumped on and their pussy's been ran through. I'm not even surprised if it is. I don't know who these women are. But you can tell a lot by a woman when she starts escalating her voice. When a woman starts escalating her voice in public, that's not a good woman. A good woman, you tell her, shut up and behave, of course, in a playful, dominant way. And she should shut up, behave. But as you can see, there's no man against them. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure they probably had plans to hook up with some man or some shit like that after this dinner, this free meal. There's no such thing as a free meal. Maybe when the dude was single, he would do that. Not anymore. And it gets interesting after this because those are the types of flags you need to look at when you're dating intimately. Who this type of, or what that kind of woman that you're dating, what they're bringing to the table and what you have to deal with. So let's go ahead and get into it.
I do have a husband though. Hold on, wait a minute.
Thank
I do have a husband.
So Donnie, you're good because it's your birthday, but the
Y'all
rest of
so
y'all, we gotta chip
embarrassing.
in.
We're good. Y'all are so
But you
embarrassing.
can't.
Let me get
You
out
need
of
to leave.
here.
Not us splitting checks.
You need to leave.
I'm not paying for anything. That's what I'm not paying for anything.
No,
He's
you
the man
ate.
at the
You had
table.
a couple drinks. You know what?
That's some bull. I'm not paying for anything.
I'm gonna tell you tomorrow.
No, he's the man at the table. He needs to pay.
Can you please separate the check, please?
No, because I'm saying that's ghetto. Like, you don't come to no establishment like that talking about splitting checks. I don't do that. I don't split checks. That's
Thought
really
you were the
ghetto.
podcast king. Thought you were the podcast king.
We gotta get in the car. We'll stop here. It's over here. We'll go this way.
That right there are those types of things that you have to look for in a woman. Is when she's yelling in an establishment, a fine establishment like that. If she acts like that in a fine establishment, she probably acts like that. Guaranteed acts like that in public. She also acts like that virtually anywhere. And those type of women, you have to put them in their place. And if you can't put them in their place, then she's not the one for you. She will run straight through you. She'll go for alimony. She'll go for child support. She'll try to take half your shit. You have to look in between the lines when you're dating. And me personally, guys, I'm being dead honest with you. I don't date black women. I'd rather date a Latina toxica or a white woman with fucking mental health issues than date a black woman. That's just my preference. I'm going to use Gary Owen. Gary Owen, love this guy when he said, every time I see a black woman, my dick gets hard. That's not me. Hey, everybody has their preferences. And I could say that because my dad's black. So, Afro-Latino, let me rephrase that. Still black. So, with that being said, there's one thing if you're going to a group setting like that, apparently these people are all acquainted. And there was a part in that video where the woman said, well, I have a husband. Sweetheart, if you have a husband, you as a woman should take him out with you. So you don't have to deal with this. But no, you wanted to act single in this fine establishment. Most likely, right? I don't know the details of their relationship. And honestly, I don't care. But I'm thinking, my woman, any woman that I'm with, is always going to invite me out. She doesn't want to be anywhere else around me. She doesn't want to be anywhere else without me. Let me rephrase that. When you see that woman saying, I'm not paying for anything, I'm going to tell you guys there, and I don't know what the establishment is, but in downtown Fort Worth, all of Sundance Square, you won't be able to leave that establishment. They have private security, private level 4 security patrolling all of Sundance Square. You try to pay without leaving, you're going to get arrested. I think they'll give you theft or burglary or theft, petty theft or some shit like that. But you'll get arrested. That place kind of looked like a mall-ish type of area. I don't know what the details are or a security guard, but just know if you're with the woman, she tries to do that, she'll most likely get arrested. I don't know what the aftermath of this particular video is, but seeing that woman yelling in public in this fine establishment is not a woman that I want to be with. All the women that I've been with, they submit consensually, of course, submit to me, and that's it. That's their only option. And moving forward from here, I think it's also important as the man to figure out what friends you're around. If this happened once, it's probably happened before and will happen again. One, if those are my type of friends or acquaintances, I don't want to be around those people at all. You will not find me around bougie ghetto people like that in any way, shape, or form. And I say this for all races. I don't care if you're white, black, purple, Asian, Pan Pacific, whatever the fuck it is. If any person acts like that, I'm not doing that. You won't see me yell in an establishment like that. Everything has to be cordial. Yeah, if I'm drunk and I'm partying, but that's of a different context. If we're at dinner, we're not dealing with that. So moving forward from there, if you are going to a place, if you're going to a dinner, and I'll say this, you're with a man, you're with your woman, but you don't know the people that you're going to be with, or you know how certain people act, there's some precautions that you can take. The first precaution is pay the tab before it actually comes. So at least that way there's no confusion and the waiter can figure out, okay, everybody gets this tab, gets this check. And the waiter maybe say like, so is it, so you paid your portion, how do I split everything else? You could tell them, however you want it, I got the birthday girl, everything's taken care of. So at least that way this particular altercation does not happen. The second thing is you look at your acquaintances and friends, avoid those type of people at all costs. I don't give a fuck what your ethnicity, what race, religion, culture, I don't give a fuck. If you meet anybody like that, don't be around them because it's just a headache that you don't want to deal with. And also, if I was married with a woman like that, I'd tell her, you can't hang out with them no more at all. I'm not dealing with this shit. She's saying you're the podcast king. What does my profession have anything to do with paying for a tab? Now, I understand the woman didn't have anything, and I don't know if it's cost anything for reservation, but still, you have no say. If you didn't get anything, if there's nothing on your tab, shut the fuck up. Moving forward from there. The second one that I want to show you is another incident like that. And I know it went viral. Still want to talk about it. It's something that's been bugging me. And it's something that this past weekend, for my birthday weekend, we were actually at a dinner, a nice steakhouse. And this did not even occur because we already knew everybody. Everything was already set. And so going into this next video.
I'm only paying for what's on the check. I'm not splitting the bill, shawty. That's crazy. You expect us to split the bill?
You got lamb chop, you got steak, you got some other.
Look at all that. Look at what all they got. And they talking about splitting the
What did you
bill.
come out for? What did you come out for?
We come together, we
Alright,
split
I'm
the
saying
bills,
so again.
period.
My thing is, y'all doing too much.
Y'all doing way too much. We didn't order all that. But when I'm
So that particular video was a lot shorter than this one, but the principle still apply. So from what I gathered, and I saw the other video, like the whole thing on top of the aftermath. I guess the guy's name Vic Gotti. Again, don't know who that guy is. Obviously don't care. But looking at that, it's this girl's birthday dinner, and she's been, I guess that guy around her, the guy that has the shoulder around her is her boyfriend. And then she invited, I believe, up to 18 friends. So the other two dudes and the other women, I presume those guys are single, and that one guy was with that girl, and then that girl invited all her friends. I don't know what the establishment was, but the bill settled to $4,600. $4,600, what? Let me fucking do that. 4,600 divided by 18. That's $255. Now, I love how the guy says, you got lamb chop, you got steak, you got some other shit, and then he says you're doing way too much. If you go in and you're invited to the birthday dinner of your friend, the least thing you could do is contribute not only your meal, but to the meal of said birthday person. I mean, that's what I would do. I don't know what those other two dudes got, but I'm pretty sure that they didn't get as much as they did, at least the way in that particular confrontation. Again, going back to the principle, she's entitled to say it's my birthday, why should I have to pay for anything? Even on my birthday, I'm going to pay for something. I don't care how little it is, like I'm going to pay for something. Unless they say, no, we got you. And that happened this past weekend, which I'm perfectly fine with, right? Moving on from that point, the guy's yelling at him, what did you come out for? To me, I'm thinking about that. I'm like, well, you're saying that I have to ball out the same way you do. For my presumption, those two guys don't have girlfriends. He says, you're supposed to ball with all these girls. Absolutely not. If she's not sucking you or fucking you or cleaning up for you, why do you have to pay? There's no obligation. Yeah, you can ball out by yourself. Pay your shit for what you want to pay. That's your money. Who are they to say how to handle my money? And with that being said, again, you have to figure out who your friends are at the table. And you also have to figure out, one, the easiest thing you could do, I'm like, tell whoever the head is the table, or at least tell the birthday person, I'm like, I'll contribute to you. Or in the beginning, when everybody sits down, tell the waiter, hey, I'm going solo. Whatever I order, that's on me. And I'm sure they may add a gratuity, but that's irrelevant by default. But still, I believe after that video, it got more intense where the guy was going to leave her or something like that. And she says she doesn't want a broke man. It's not about being broke. It's about principle. And women who look for free food or free gifts like that, those aren't the type of women you want to be with anyway. So moving on from there, I want to let you know that in a group setting, do not simp, do not break your frame, hold your frame, or be prudent and just right when you know it's like those last 10, 15 minutes, let's say you had your meal, your last drink, go to the waiter, pay your tab, and say, hey, I paid for my shit. I don't know how they're going to do it. Or say maybe you paid for the birthday girls, put that shit on my tab, cancel out. So when you have that, you can simply walk away instead of being part of the drama. There's one thing that I do despise is me being put on blast publicly like that, because at that point, we're just looking for followers, views, and fames. I know this podcast, but this podcast is massively different than me clout chasing. That in of itself was a bit clout chasing, especially when you're going to context of video and doing aftermath and talking about it. It's, to me, it's not worth that, especially when it has a negative impact to one. People are going to look at me and say, you really hang around with people like that? Which, of course, to me, I wouldn't hang out with people like that anyway. But that one girl says, we come together, we split the bill, period. I wouldn't doubt that torta probably had the heaviest bill from what her portion was. I don't know what the fuck she got, but it's always a torta that can wear a crop top confidently, right? I need that confidence. I'm just kidding. Don't cancel me. But even going from there, when we exit that group setting, there's some things that I want to tell you as a man, and there's a great video that I'm gonna give you guys in terms of context. This is something that I fundamentally do. If you ask any one of my friends, they will tell you I'm an asshole. Not a dickhead, but an asshole. And I believe this is a really good starting point for you guys, if you're dating, how to set up your frame as a man. Let's go ahead and get into it.
What are the two things that women...
I want a man who's wanted by every woman, but I'm the one who gets him.
Bingo!
And also totally experienced. Because if you're not fucking me good, then like I'm gonna be like, fuck, remember?
The ideal man is the combination of those two things.
But also an asshole.
Bingo!
Oh, I love assholes. But not like actual assholes. It's like banter asshole.
That sentence, I love assholes but not actual assholes, is literally the female encapsulation, the female description of exactly what I'm saying.
Like, you want a man who's kind but not nice.
Bingo!
And mean to other people.
Yes.
You're getting it. If a dude was listening to this, like, that wasn't me, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
The average guy is like, the fuck are these women talking about?
That in of itself, and don't get me wrong, I follow Sterling Cooper. I love exactly what he preaches. And I believe he's like a award-winning adult film star, if I'm not mistaken, and he used to be a male escort. That has always been my frame. And I'm going to go back to something I said earlier. Matthew Hussey says there's a nice guy and then there's a dickhead. But you need to be a nice guy with an edge, right? Edgy, nice. You need to be right there in the middle. Some of the things that you can do when you're dating intimately, I tease women a lot. I actually try to put their back against the wall to see if they're going to push back or if they're going to submit. If they push back, I remind them, I'll say something like, easy, tiger, you need to behave. To tell them jokingly that, hey, I don't roll that way. I mean, you're not going to yell at me. You could get a little bit feisty, but in terms of trying to stand up to me, I'll say something like, if you keep misbehaving, I'm going to remind you who's Poppy tonight. Those little types of things, I'm trying to get inside her head. And being a nice guy or doing gentlemanly, chivalrous things. And I'll tell you this here. Whenever you meet a girl on Hinge, Facebook dating, Tinder, Bumble, or wherever, when you make a date, the first thing you can do, if you're not picking her up, you definitely want to open the car door. When you open the car door, whether it's coming in or going out, when you open the door for her, you tell her, we're going to sit over here. If you're sitting in a booth, you sit next to her. You don't sit across from her. You sit next to her because you want to remind her, hey, I'm being really close to you because I'm letting you know this is not an interview. Like, I'm trying to date you. Once you break that barrier, if she tells you, can you sit on the other side? I'm like, no, sweetheart, this isn't an interview. You don't have to be so formal about it. Or just jokingly brush it off and I'm be like, relax, Tiger. It's not that big of a deal. Just let her know jokingly that you sitting next to her is not that big of a deal. And most of the time, they're just going to submit. From there, some things that I like to do whenever I'm on a dating app, I like to ask a woman what her drinks are, what she prefers, what she doesn't prefer. And I always do this. Once I schedule a date, sometimes I'll give them like a 15-minute call either the day before just to talk to them. Because when you're on a dating app and they haven't heard your voice, you just giving the 5, 10, 15 minutes that you have to give them a call them, kind of flirt a little bit, confirm the date. The next day when you confirm that date, let's say early in the morning or somewhere at mid-noon after lunch, and let's say your date's at 7, you just say, hey, can't wait to see you at 7. And then an hour before, just to confirm again, I'll be like, I'm running a little bit late, or maybe you're not running late. I should be there like 6:45, but I won't be too late. At least that way she knows, and at least that way you're opening that communication. When you're dating, in that dating aspect, I personally like sitting at the bar because I like sitting next to the woman. But if there's a position where I have to be at a booth, I don't sit across from them. I sit next to them. And it's those fundamental things that when you're in that dating aspect, there's a couple of things that you can do. Don't be afraid to be dominant. Don't be afraid to be playful. Don't be afraid to crack a joke with her. Even if you have the capacity to offend her in just a little bit, you want to let her know that you're a man of business. I'm willing to offend a woman in a witty bar banter way if that means she knows exactly where my line is. So she says, oh, I didn't appreciate that. Just brush it off as if it wasn't a big a deal. And that's one of the big things that you have to understand is you can't make everything a big deal, because if it is, if you're too serious, she's going to think that you have a stick up your ass. And I don't think that's pleasant for anybody. So moving on from there. When you're out in a group setting and you bring your girl with you, the first thing that you want to do is definitely take care of your woman. In that group setting, you want to show everybody at the room, especially those single women, if they're in that type of dinner setting, that you're the chivalrous gentleman. You're opening the chair for her. You're opening the thing. You're ordering her food for her. Let her know that when she's with you, she's with you. So all the other single women know, I'm like, damn, she's his and he's hers. Even if you're cheating, it doesn't matter. But at least the other single women know, and they can look at somebody who's that dominant, just give it to them straight. And then they're going to be like, damn, I want a man like that. Or maybe they don't. Some women may even say, why do you let them order your food? Why do you let them order your drinks? Don't you have a say? The best response for a woman like that, for a woman, from a taken woman versus a single woman, is I trust him completely. The minute that you do that, oh God, it's game over. If she can proclaim that she trusts you completely, it's in the bag, and you already know. So other than that, guys, I really hope you liked this video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, and of course Spotify, or whatever you want to listen to your podcast. Until next time, guys, stay tuned. Take care.